The movie is about twin brothers Samuel and Nolan living in the forest with their mom and their dog, Coda. Mom has taught them that evil has taken over the world and ended civilization, so they must stay hidden in this house. One morning, Mom dreams of a skeleton in the woods moving and screaming. The nightmare wakes her up, and after a quick prayer, she steps outside. As she touches the grass, she hears a growl nearby. Suddenly, her dead father appears near the stairs and tries to touch her. She ignores him and goes back inside. Later in the morning, she wakes the kids to start their day. Samuel does push-ups to prepare himself, while it's shown that Nolan has a bell tied to his ankle. During breakfast, Nolan shares his food with Coda, even though Samuel disapproves. After breakfast, the family gets ready to forage for food. Mom ties them together with a long rope and says a prayer over it to keep them safe from the evil. They also carry whistles in case of danger, and Mom reminds the boys of the main rules. The rope is their lifeline, and they must never let go of it. The rope is tied to the house's foundation, a precaution set up by their grandfather to protect his wife. Coda goes ahead to hunt for rabbits while the family splits up to search for food. While foraging, Mom keeps seeing the evil, which appears as her dead father whispering, "Let them go." She ignores it. She finds an old picture of her parents on the ground and hangs it on a tree. Meanwhile, Samuel uses his slingshot to catch a squirrel, gathers bugs, and even eats a frog. Nolan climbs a tree to check a bird's nest, but finds all the eggs have already hatched. On his way down, he spots an egg on the ground. He tries to grab it, but is stopped by the rope. Desperate for better food, Nolan begins untying the rope when Samuel catches him and warns that the egg might be a trap from the evil. The brothers argue as they head back. Nolan hears Samuel say, "She loves me more," but Samuel denies saying anything. Upset, Nolan steps on Samuel's rope, loosening the knot. Samuel falls, injuring his ankle. Nolan blows his whistle for help, while Samuel hears something moving in the bushes and grows frightened. Since Samuel can't walk, Nolan unties his rope to help him. At the same time, Mom hears the whistle and rushes to find them. The rope stops her from going far, so she unties it. She sees the evil again, this time as her dead mother. Before the evil can reach the boys, Mom arrives and ties them to Nolan's rope. The creature appears behind them but can't get close because of the blessed rope. Mom is still very nervous, but the kids can't see the evil and just stare at her. Once the creature leaves, the family returns home, where Coda is already waiting. Paranoid, Mom makes the boys touch the blessed wood and repeat a prayer while holding a knife, ensuring the evil hasn't touched them. After confirming they're safe, she scolds them for breaking the rope rules and tends to Samuel's ankle. Later, while sitting outside, Mom sees her mother's ghost again. During dinner, she tells the boys a story. Once the evil pretended to be a girl with her foot stuck in a hole. The girl's cries for help lasted for days, but Mom ignored them. When the cries stopped, she found the girl's dead body. She's sure it was a trick to lure her, but she didn't fall for it. She shares this story to remind the boys never to let go of the rope, no matter what. That night, Mom puts the boys in the cellar, a regular activity to help them face their fears and cleanse their souls. Each boy spends an hour in the dark and shares their nightmares with the family afterward. Later, they get ready for bed, and Nolan adds a creepy drawing to his collection on the wall. He asks Samuel if he saw anything after the rope fell, but Samuel says he didn't. Nolan finds this strange and wonders if their mom would kill them if the evil touched them, just like she killed their father and grandparents. Samuel denies this and insists their mom would never lie to them. While Mom is outside, she suddenly hears a voice. It's her dead husband. This is the first time the evil takes his form. He begs her to let him see the kids again, saying she has no real plan for the future. Mom ignores him even as his voice grows scarier, but she hesitates when he says they'll starve soon. The next day, Mom and Nolan check the greenhouse, but most of the plants are either sick or dead. A harsh winter had recently killed their crops and scared away the animals, leaving them with very little food. Nolan starts asking Mom questions about the old world and wonders how she knows no other people have survived. Mom gives vague answers and tells him the house is the only world they need to focus on now. As the days go by, the family uses up their food supplies until there's almost nothing left. It gets so bad that they have to share a single tomato. On nights when there's no moon, Mom lets the kids play an old record so they can all dance together. One evening, while taking a bath, Mom sees Nolan standing nearby. When she talks to him, he doesn't respond. He's sleepwalking. She takes him back to bed and ties the bell back to his ankle, wondering how it came off in the first place. The next day, Mom goes into the woods alone with her crossbow, hoping to hunt an animal. She hears a bird and sneaks closer, but finds it eating what looks like Nolan's rotting body. The body turns to face her, and Mom hides, reminding herself it's not real. When she looks again, only the bird is there. She gets ready to shoot it, but the vision of Nolan appears again and startles her. She misses the shot, scaring the bird away. Frustrated, Mom screams and gathers tree bark for their next meal. During dinner, Mom keeps seeing her husband through the window, reminding her of her lack of a plan. The following day, the family works together to gather more bark and look for sap. Nolan feels something behind him but sees nothing when he turns. Suddenly, something pulls on his rope, dragging him through the forest. He's pulled toward a well where a snake-like creature is tugging on the rope. At that moment, Nolan wakes up. It was all a dream, and he'd been sleepwalking again. Mom finds him and angrily takes him back inside, forcing him to touch the blessed wood while saying the prayer. She locks him in the cellar, ignoring his pleas to use the bathroom, and leaves him there until he swears the darkness inside him is gone. Nolan wets his pants but is only let out after Mom is satisfied. Later, Nolan tells Samuel they should leave the house. He believes they can work together to outrun the evil and promises to return for Mom after they find food. Nolan thinks Mom doesn't know what's best for them anymore, but Samuel refuses to agree. In her room, Mom overhears part of their conversation and has visions of herself losing control. The next day, Mom takes out an old box. She shows the kids a Polaroid camera and explains how it works, showing them family photos. The camera has only one photo left, which she's saving for a special moment. Then she makes a shocking announcement. To survive, they have to eat Coda. He's old and can't be fed when they don't even have enough food for themselves. Nolan is horrified and cries, saying killing Coda would be true evil. Mom asks Samuel to vote, and he agrees with her plan. Devastated, Nolan runs outside to hug Coda, determined to protect him. But Mom takes the dog from his arms and drags him into the greenhouse. She thanks Coda for everything before preparing to shoot him with her crossbow. As she hesitates, Nolan appears and tells her it's not real. He cuts her rope and locks the greenhouse door, forcing her to confront the truth. Mom panics and starts breaking the windows while Samuel rushes outside and fights Nolan. The boys wrestle on the ground, and while this happens, the evil appears to Mom using her mother's face. The creature scolds Mom for all her mistakes as a child and says she'll make her eat her children. Overwhelmed, Mom grabs a shard of broken glass and takes her own life in front of her boys. Samuel punches Nolan to win their fight and runs into the greenhouse to tie the rope to their mother. He starts praying, hoping to help her, but nothing happens. Feeling regretful, Nolan ties his mother's rope around himself and goes back to the house. He plays the old record, to cope with his sadness, while Samuel spends the entire night holding on to their mother's body. Later, Nolan searches for Coda, but the dog is too scared of the family now and stays in the forest. Samuel feels weak from hunger, so Nolan makes him tea. Samuel hasn't left their mother's room since the tragedy, and he tells Nolan he saw him in the woods laughing at him for not saving Mama. Nolan insists it was only a dream, but agrees to touch the wood and say the prayer to ease Samuel's mind. Wanting to help his brother, Nolan takes the rope and ventures into the forest. Since he's using all the rope, it's long enough for him to leave the woods and discover a road. He is amazed to see the hard surface and shouts for help, but no one answers. When Nolan returns home, he is startled when a man named Cole approaches him. Cole explains he was hiking in the area and heard Nolan calling for help. He mentions he has food in his bag and offers a ride in his truck. However, Samuel comes out thinking Cole is the evil and points a crossbow at him. Cole swears he doesn't mean any harm and walks away, but Samuel shoots him anyway. Bleeding, Cole runs into the forest and Nolan follows him, ignoring Samuel's warnings that it's a trap. Following the trail of blood, Nolan finds Cole making a call on his phone too. Nolan tries to take Cole's bag, but Cole resists before finally succumbing to his wounds. Nolan takes the bag home, finding it filled with canned food. He eats until he's satisfied and offers some to Samuel, who still believes it's a trick and refuses to eat. Later that night, hunger becomes unbearable, and Samuel finally gives in, eating some of the canned food. While looking through Cole's belongings, Samuel finds a photo of Cole with his daughter inside his wallet. He also discovers a flashlight which he takes outside to play with. Suddenly, he hears a noise coming from the greenhouse. Investigating, he sees movement inside and is stunned to see his mother standing there. Rushing to open the door, he finds her gone and smells the rotting body. Then he hears a voice and turns to see the girl from the photo. She asks about her father, and Samuel pretends he knows nothing. However, the girl recognizes her dad's flashlight. Samuel begins to apologize, and the girl, now frightened, runs into the forest. Samuel chases her, but soon gets his rope tangled among the trees. Realizing the girl may prove his brother was right, Samuel removes the rope to follow her. As he continues searching, he freezes in shock as he sees the girl climbing a tree, but with extra arms. She moves swiftly through the treetops and appears behind him, her body twisted unnaturally. A long tongue extends from her mouth and touches Samuel's hand before breaking off and crawling under his sleeve. It makes its way to his face and enters his mouth. At the house, Nolan wakes up to find his brother missing. He follows Samuel's rope, only to discover the end is empty. Suddenly, he hears Samuel's voice calling him. Running to investigate, Nolan finds Samuel, who cuts his rope. Just then, Cole's truck lights flash on and Nolan sees the evil-wearing Samuel's face. Terrified, Nolan runs back to the house. Hearing noises upstairs, he goes to their mother's room and finds Samuel sitting on her bed. Black liquid drips from the ceiling above Samuel, who remains silent to Nolan's questions. Nolan grabs Samuel's hand and touches the blessed wood, starting to pray. This causes Samuel to roar and attack him with a knife. Nolan quickly dodges and runs out of the room, blocking the door behind him. Samuel moves the bed to jam the door and plays the old record while starting a fire in the fireplace. The fire spreads and Samuel goes outside to watch the house burn. As smoke fills the air, Nolan wets a rag to cover his face and escapes through a window.
He slips, but decides to go back inside through another window.
Behind a curtain, Nolan finds his mother calling to him. Refusing to believe she's real, he runs away and opens the cellar. When the figure resembling Mama approaches, he pushes it into the cellar and shuts the door. Nolan hugs the creature and remembers how his mother always said to fill the cellar with love. The fake body starts breaking apart, revealing its true form, a snake-like monster. It struggles against Nolan's grip, but his love causes it to explode. Later, firefighters and paramedics arrive and rescue the boys in a helicopter. As they fly away, Coda runs after them on the ground. Nolan notices they're heading toward a real town and tells Samuel they're free. Samuel only replies, "She loves me more." Back at the burned house, the last Polaroid photo shows a hand resting on Samuel's shoulder.
What's your thoughts about this movie? Let us know in the comment section. Subscribe and turn on notification to get more movie recaps. Don't forget to like and share this video.